Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Directors. On behalf of our Legal and Project Development Consultancy team, thank you for the opportunity to present our legal assessment of the proposed 150-acre Smart Industrial and Data Center development. Our assessment focused on one key question: can this project still proceed despite the current statutory challenge? Our answer is yes, provided the project adopts the right legal and compliance strategy. Today, we will explain the key legal issues, evaluate the available remedies, and present a practical roadmap to help the project move forward with confidence. Before we discuss the details, let me briefly highlight our overall findings. Our assessment identified 3 statutory barriers affecting the project. First, the proposed site requires land conversion approval under the National Land Code 1965. Second, the project requires planning permission under the Town and Country Planning Act 1976, which has been refused because it conflicts with the draft local plan. Third, the environmental impact assessment was rejected under the Environmental Quality Act 1974 due to environmental concerns relating to the nearby river basin. While this issue presents significant legal risks, they do not prevent the project from proceeding. Instead, they require a coordinated legal planning and environmental compliance strategy. This diagram illustrates the project's current legal position. As shown, the proposed development is affected by 3 interconnected statutory constraints, which is land status, planning restrictions, and environmental protection. These are not separate approval process. A delay in one approval may directly affect the others, resulting in additional costs and project delays. Therefore, our recommendation is to manage this approval through an integrated compliance strategy rather than addressing them individually. With that overview, I will now invite my colleague Ms. Ain to explain the statutory powers of the relevant authorities and the legal options available to the developer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hikmah. Member of the board, after identifying the statutory issues, we assess their impact on the project viability. Our legal risk metrics show that land conversion, planning permission, and environmental approval are also classified as critical risks, as you can see in the red zone here. This does not mean the project cannot proceed, but this issue may affect their project timeline, financing, procurement, and investor confidence. Therefore, we recommend a coordinated legal strategy and early engagement with the relevant authorities to minimize delay and additional costs. Okay, the first statutory issue is land conversion. The proposed site is currently agricultural land. So, under Section 124 of the National Land Code 1965, approval from state authority is required before it can be used in industrial purpose. The state authority will consider planning policies, infrastructure capacity, and the public interest. This principle was confirmed in Sri Lanka Enterprise Berhad versus Pentadbir Tanah Daerah Johor Bahru, where the federal court held that the state authority must exercise its discretion fairly and lawfully. Therefore, we recommend engaging early with the state authority and providing planning and technical justification. Okay, the second statutory issue is planning permission under the Town and Country Planning Act 1976 Act 172. Under Section 19, development cannot begin without planning permission. In this case, the application was refused because it was inconsistent with draft local plan. However, under Section 23, the developer may appeal to the appeal board before seeking judicial review. Our recommendation is to refine the proposal to better comply with planning objective, as this is more practical and cost-effective other than litigation. I will now invite Ms. Amira to present the environmental issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Ain. Member of the board, I will now explain the third statutory challenge, which is the environmental approval under the Environmental Quality Act 1974. Under Section 34A, prescribed development must obtain approval from an Environmental Impact Assessment EIA before the construction begins. In this case, the Department of Environment rejected the initial EIA because the proposed cooling system may cause the thermal pollution to a nearby sensitive rivers. However, this does not mean the project cannot continue. It simply means the EIA needs a stronger technical evidence and better mitigation measure. This is supported by the Court of Appeals case Ketua Pengarah Jabatan Alam Sekitar and Anna Rest the Kajian Tubers and Ors, which confirmed the EIA process is an important safeguard before the major development proceeds. Therefore, we recommend submitting a revised EIA with the thermal pollution management plans environmental management plans, and continue environmental monitoring. This matrix shows the role of the three key authorities involved in the approval process. The state authority decides whether the land can be converted for the industrial use. The local planning authority assesses whether the project complies with the planning policy. The Department of Environment ensures that environmental impacts are properly managed. Although each authority has different responsibility, all approvals are required before the project can legally begin. This is why all statutory submissions must be well coordinated. Based on our assessment, immediate court action should be the last options. Instead, the developer should work with the authorities, improve the technical submissions, revise the EIA, and where appropriate, use the appeals process under the Section 23 of the Town and Country Planning Act 1976. This approach reduces delay, lower legal costs, and increase the change of the project approval. I will now invite my colleague, Mr. Sazwan, to the presence of the 5-phase compliance roadmaps. Thank you.
Thank you, Amira. Member of the board, after reviewing the legal issues and possible solution, I will now present our 5-phase compliance roadmap. This roadmap provides a clear step-by-step approach to help the project achieve legal compliance, obtain the necessary approval, reduce delays, and build stakeholders' confidence. The first two phases focus on getting the project ready for approval. Phase 1 is regulatory due diligence. The developer should meet with the state authorities, the local planning authorities, and the Department of Environment before submitting new application. Early discussion help identify potential issues early and avoid unnecessary delays. Phase 2 is land conversion and planning compliance. The developer should submit a land conversion application under the National Land Code 1965, following by a revised planning proposal that addresses the local planning authorities' concern. By following planning requirements and providing strong technical support, the chances of approval will be much higher. The next two phases focus on environmental protection and project governance. Phase 3 is environmental sustainability. We recommend preparing a revised environmental impact assessment together with a thermal pollution management plan, an environment management plan, and continuous environmental monitoring. These measures address the department and environmental concern and demonstrate the developer commitment to sustainable development. Phase 4 is stakeholder engagement and governance. We recommend setting up a legal and regulator compliance committee to monitor approval, coordinate compliance, and support the project throughout its life cycle. Regular communication with governments, agencies, investors, and local communities will improve transparency, build trust, and reduce further dispute. Together, these 4 phases create a strong foundation before consideration any legal action. I will now invite my colleague, Mr. Zahari, to present the final phase of our roadmap and conclude our recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sazwan. Members of the board, I will now conclude our presentation with the final phase of our compliance roadmap. If the required approval is still not obtained after the first 4 phases, the developer may consider legal remedies. For planning matters, the first step is to appeal under Section 23 of the Town and Country Planning Act 1976 before considering further court action. If land conversion is refused, the developer should continue engaging with the state authority and provide further supporting information. Judicial review should only be pursued when there is an evidence of unlawful or unfair decision making. Overall, legal action should remain the last resort, as constructive engagement with the authorities is generally more effective way to secure approval while maintaining project continuity. Based on our legal and regulatory assessment, we conclude that the proposed 150-acre smart industrial and data center development remains legally viable. We recommend adopting 5-phase compliance roadmap as the project implementation strategy. By strengthening regulatory engagement, improving technical and environmental submissions, and maintaining good governance, the company can enhance its prospect of securing approval while minimizing legal, financial, and operational risks. In closing, we thank the board for your time and attention. We hope our assessment today has provided a clear and practical pathway for moving this project forward. On behalf of our consultancy team, Hikmah, Ain, Amira, Shazwan and myself, Zahari, we thank you for the opportunity to present today. We now welcome any questions or comments from the board. Thank you.